How's it, guys? It's Davey, FPL. First of all, let me know if the audio and the video are all Gucci. Otherwise, we can hit up all this Game Week 13 madness. I say madness, but it's actually been a pretty boring international break. Some injuries have cropped up, a Matoma, a Jared Bowen, that sort of thing, but those have been dealt with. Matoma confirmed out. Bowen is not as kind of concrete as we probably would have liked, but I'm actually hoping for some early team sheet news because that might be the transfer this week. I've made no transfers. I have to make one this stream, and as mentioned, the early team sheet news might come in clutch because at the current moment, I don't exactly know what to do. In terms of Captaincy, you guys can see it's on Human Son for the current moment. I asked over on Twitter earlier, are there any Liverpool fans out there captaining Erling Haaland? Because that's where I woke up on that side of the bed. I was considering captaining Erling Haaland, but I just don't know if I can actually do it. So let me know how your weekend's going, guys. Let me know how your FPL decisions are going, how that team is looking. And as always, if there's any questions you guys want me to answer, you can drop them down in the chat. Just give me a second here to just get everything on screen so I can see who's in the chat. I saw a couple of early questions being put in. If you guys haven't seen the poll, it's who's your captain this week. Currently, 52% of you saying Erling Haaland, which is making me slightly worried. 32% the next highest with Human Son, and then we've had a massive drop-off for Mo Salah and also Ollie Watkins. So we had a few people in the chat earlier on. We had Amara saying, finally, FPL is back, can't wait. And the best thing about this, guys, is the fact that there's no international breaks for quite a long time. So we should be having a lot of FPL action within the next few weeks. Thoughts on the Son captain versus the Haaland captain? I'll go over that shortly. Just give me a bit of time so everyone can get in chat. I don't want to repeat it too much. Sadesh saying, hey, Davey. We also had another Josh saying, how are you, mate? All good. Hopefully you're doing well as well. All the best for Game Week 13. Burn and Bowen to Saliba and Eze for free. Thoughts? The Burn transfer is fine. To Saliba is a comfortable move. I don't know about the Eze one. And unfortunately, because you're not doing the Bowen to Eze move, you probably don't have the funds for Burn to Saliba. So just go for another alternative besides Saliba. Could be Gabriel. Could be someone like a Gay. He should is kind of a good replacement there. Otherwise, Castagne from Fulham is a popular one. Yo is saying, hey Davey, how's it? Yo, same to Joel. What to do with Matoma? Maybe James Ward-Prowse or Mbumo. Yeah, I would go Mbumo straight away. I understand that this week isn't optimal. If you guys have watched my transfer plans, you'll know I'm not the biggest fan of bringing Mbumo in this week. But I think for the medium term, long term, it's the easiest kind of decision to make. I just think you can only delay it 1 week, but I would definitely bring him in next week. So I would just say, Joel, go for Mbumo straight away. Yo, also asking the question, Bowen/Fernandez out for Eze or Dingra? No, I just keep both of them. Oct, how's it going? Nanad saying, how's it? Have a good Xmas FPL run. Definitely. And as you saying, madness, it's going to be absolute mad. G-Red saying, good day. Light Ray saying, how's it? M. Deely saying, would you captain Alexi Hooksy? I currently have JT of Shaggy. No, you captain JT. Man is looking quite strong, but unfortunately they're out. So maybe go for Hooksy. All working great. Thanks, Conrad. Also, Joel, thank you. Beautiful visuals. Thank you for going one step above, complimenting it even. SH also, as usual, saying audio and video or Gucci. Good afternoon, says Tracy. Where are you in the world if it's good afternoon? South Africa, I mean, it's 12 p.m. Is it 12 p.m. or 1 p.m.? Is that afternoon? I don't exactly know. Looking like a young Vincent Del Bosque with the stash. Yeah, so as you guys know, November, it's ending on Friday, so don't worry. If you can't stand the look of this, it will be gone probably by the next stream. But, you know, we got to keep it for the last week. As we said, it's Movember, so hopefully you guys are doing it as well if you can grow a mustache. Aaron saying, should I wildcard or keep it for later? Aaron, it depends on how the team is looking. I think if your team looks adequate for this week, just remember, this week is a tough week for most managers. If you want to jump onto differentials, that's 100% fine. But I might say keep your wildcard for as late as possible now. We are edging that kind of mid-Xmas period, that blank game week for Man City. I'd say maybe prolong it to game week 19. That could be quite strong. Why the Son captain over Haaland? The only reason is I just feel like this Liverpool defense hasn't looked that terrible. And if there was a player to kind of block Haaland, it's going to be Van Dijk. So I'm almost, as a Liverpool fan, I've got my bias cap on and I'm hoping for a Liverpool win, but I don't know. I just think the high ceiling might be on Son's side, but I think that Haaland, that effective ownership is worrying me, I won't lie. Ty the Footy Guy has been a member, a legend member for 21 months. Appreciate it so much there, Ty. Thank you for being a regular. And we are nearly approaching the 2-year anniversary. So thank you for being a member for 21 months. Phil also saying the Mo's looking good. Is my Mo looking good or is my Mo Salah looking good? That's the bigger question. Maybe we should captain Mo Salah because of the Movember. Maybe that's the play to do. Maybe that's the play to do, but I might be reaching at straws a bit too much here. But just remember, the early kickoff does not apply to Mo Salah. He's an absolute gem at the early kickoff. I think there was a few games ago. Let's just go check here. When did Liverpool have the early kickoff? It was against Everton. Did he do anything? He got 2 goals against Everton. So the early kickoff has been broken for Salah. He is officially off there. Is this okay? No. So he got 2 assists. That's not terrible. Anywhere before that? No. Okay. So the early kickoff does not apply to Mo Salah if you guys are worried about that. So yeah, hopefully put you a bit at ease there. Dubai, says Tracy. Okay, 100%. I'm a Safa though. Okay, 100. That's very interesting. I know a couple of people have been moved to the Middle East recently, so hopefully you're enjoying it there. And it's probably, I wouldn't say it's comparable to Gauteng at the moment, but it's about 34 here, so it's quite hot. David, what player you rocking on your Liverpool shirt? Christian, I've got no player on the shirt. Unfortunately, this is just the generic shirt. I don't usually put players on the back. I won't lie to you. I think the only player I ever had on the back was Fernando Torres in that Adidas kit for Liverpool. That was like my first name on the back. But otherwise, I just generally get the normal with no name or number. You look like Luigi from Super Mario Bros. Kenneth, I'm not going to do my best Luigi impression. I'll save that embarrassment just for how I look currently. But thank you, Kenneth. I'll take that as a compliment. Adam also commenting. Andy's come in. Says, good morning, Davey. Looking forward to a fantastic... Okay, I might have to ban you for that one, Andy. We might have to time you out for that one. But yeah, hopefully it's going to be a good stream. Thank you. Appreciate it. Sun Tzu saying, you're looking great. Think this is the first time seeing you. Okay, thanks, Sun. This might have been your first deadline stream because I usually have my face on. Any team leaks? I'm hoping we get some early team leaks. But in terms of the current information, should I start Bowen? You just keep him for now unless we get concrete news. I think if we don't get any news, you might as well just keep him. I think the worst case is that he doesn't feature, and then we'll get Archer anyways. What did I miss? Any Bowen updates? So Darth, unfortunately nothing. Oladapo is saying Palmer or He-Chan. I'd go for Palmer. I'm fine with Huang He-Chan. I just don't know if I trust Wolves that much. I'd say just go for Palmer now if you're going in that cheaper price bracket. Any Pinnock or Udogie? Also Pinnock or Udogie. Okay, so Pinnock has Arsenal, Udogie has Aston Villa. I'd probably go for Udogie from the attacking threat. Between those two, it's not very optimal, but I'd say I'd go for Udogie. Tony H saying, I don't even know Gay. Should I start Maguire, Taylor, or Lascelles? I'm worried about United, I won't lie. If you guys are United fans, you probably can agree with me. I think Everton is going to be absolutely buzzing. Goodison Park is going to be off the chain because of that 10-point deduction. So I don't know if I'm expecting a Man United clean sheet. I'd probably say play the odds and maybe go for Charlie Taylor if you don't own a Bowen. But if you own a Bowen, I would just say stick with Maguire. Gareth saying, hey Davey, who would you replace Bowen with if you get early team sheet news? I already have Mbumo. Cheers. If you already have Mbumo, I would go Eze Gareth. Otherwise, you can also go for Cole Palmer. I just prefer Eze over the next 3, and then you can go for Cole Palmer anyways. But I'd say if you already own Mbumo, I would go for Eze or Palmer. I don't know if Son, who to captain. Andrew, I think you probably just go for the Erling Haaland captain. I would be tempted by Bowen if you own him, but unless we get concrete news that he starts, I wouldn't go there. So Dart saying, sorry, I'm late. What? Okay, so I'll answer that question. Adnan saying, Salah scored a Hattie against Bournemouth at the early kickoff. But now you're going way back, Adnan. You're going 18, 19 here. That's pretty quite far back. But yeah, I do agree with you. It doesn't apply to him. Kuba saying, play Darwin or Archer. I would play Darwin. Samil saying, Son tomorrow. Okay, Son playing tomorrow. I don't exactly know. Yeah, Son plays tomorrow. So if you're going for a Son on Sunday captain, I guess, start Darwin or Archer. so you also have that question. So I would start Darwin. I wouldn't be too tempted to start Archer, guys. I won't lie to you. They're not the best team. Wilson, what's the transfer then? So thank you for asking, Wilson. The transfer then, if we get no news, is probably Matty Cash to Saliba. I know what you're saying. That's a double up against the great Mbumo, but because I don't own him, I'm hoping that he blanks. So I might as well put all my eggs in one basket. How's it, Dave? What do I do with Gordon? 2 free transfers. If you want to take Gordon out, I'd say if you can afford Eze, then go there. Otherwise, I would go for Cole Palmer. But I would only take out Gordon as almost you have to, you don't want to burn a transfer. I don't think Gordon's the biggest fire to put out, but I'd say that Eze and Cole Palmer is where I would go if you're looking to replace. Tsimikas or Lascelles? I'd go Lascelles. He has the home fixture and it's against Chelsea. Keep or sell Darwin? That's a bigger question. As far as I know, after the Man City game, Liverpool have fine fixtures, so I would keep Darwin. You got Fulham, Sheffield United, and Palace. That is perfectly fine in my eyes, so I would keep Darwin. Like, even if Darwin doesn't start, that's not the end of the world against Man City. I think he could come off and do well, which might be what he uses. Do you think Salah uses... I don't even know what question that is. I'd say the rolling laughing face. Thank you for the question. Start Palmer or Archer? I'd probably still go Palmer. If he gets a dodgy penalty, you're going to be kicking yourself, but probably. Christian saying I'm going to start Maguire this week. Masterclass. Was it the Ghana Parliament where one of the Parliament ministers said that he used Harry Maguire in Congress? Like, maybe this is the redemption arc of Harry Maguire. Good morning, Davey. Our chats. How's it, Jacques, sorry. Gunnar1 saying, hi, Davey. Ings for a 1-week punt. No, I don't even know if he's going to start. Paqueta in for Matoma. Thoughts? Not the worst decision. I think between him and Ward-Prowse it might be quite close, but I'd say that that's a fine move to do. I'd probably say if you don't own Mbeumo, I'd prioritize him though if you can afford him. Why did you choose Cash over Lascelles? It's just the attacking threat. Cash could always get an assist. Lascelles I'm not super confident about. And to be honest, I think Chelsea score anyways. They've been attacking pretty nicely. Morning all, says Kieran. Morning to you too, Kieran. Lascelles or Udogie to start? I'd probably go for Udogie, Flame or Fly. It just offers more attacking threat. I think both lose their clean sheet, but Udogie offers some attacking threat. Soufal or Udogie? I have Areola in goal. Aladapo, I would go with Soufal. I would say that you might as well just put all your eggs in one basket. The fixture's fine. Hey bro, only around for 10 minutes. What's the plan? Well, so the plan is a little bit tough to summarize in the next 10 minutes because it's very dependent on early team sheet news. So if we get news that Bowen starts, I keep him. If we don't get news, I keep him. If we get news that he's benched, I sell him. And then I would probably sell him for... I think I'll still stick to the plan of going for Eze over Mbeumo. I can't afford a Dingra to Mbeumo in a straight move, but maybe next week I can find some funds for it. But if we get news that Bowen is starting or we don't get news, I will do Cash to Saliba and I would start Saliba. That's the only thing I would say. Why does South Africa always lose to Australia? I don't know why they lose. You can ask them, but I'm used to disappointment from the Proteas, if I'm real. They always get to kind of a good stage and we have confidence and then they just choke. But if you guys are Australian, it's a little bit late in the day for you, but congrats on the dub. If you are a fan of India, I do apologize I give my condolences for that loss. What to do with Bruno? I would just keep Bruno this week unless you want to go for someone like a Son. The only recommendation I would do is if you can bring him to someone like in the same price point, a Son, a Saka, that sort of thing. Otherwise, I would say just keep him for this week and then take him to Mbeumo next week because United's fixture isn't the worst in the world. It's Everton. And I would probably assume that Everton are going to be more attacking than defensive today. Yes, it is a home game, but I think because of this 10-point deduction, they're just going to go all out attack. But yeah, Andrew, it's a tough situation to be in, but that's what I'd say. Honestly, might cry if we don't win today, putting all my faith in the big Darwizzy. Are you captaining Darwizzy? Otherwise, you could get away with a high-scoring affair. What's the transfer plan? So the transfer plan is, if we get news about Bowen, if he's going to start, or if we don't get news, I will just keep him. And then I will do Matty Cash to Saliba. Otherwise, if we get news that Bowen is out, I will do Bowen to Eze, probably. Would you do Cash to James or Dingra to Mbumo? I don't know what I would do there. I don't know if I would go for James. I'd say I'd prefer Cash to Saliba, if you can do that rather. I understand the James pick, but I just think that I want a few more weeks of information. Let me just check Twitter quickly. Okay, so Darwin Núñez is starting. Apparently that's the news. So the news is that Darwin Núñez starts. That's all that we currently have. Okay, and then there's been an update. They've just said the update on Bowen is that he's to be subjected to a fitness test ahead of his game today. Yeah, that's all. That's all that we have currently. So that Darwin Núñez starting is the only team sheet news we have. Maguire versus Lascelles, who to start? I would just probably go for Maguire. I think the clean sheet odds are slightly higher. I do agree with that Newcastle the better defense, but I'd probably say that Chelsea score there. Boss, I will do the Cash to Aït-Nouri. He's good at attacking. Also check Wolves games. Yeah, so I've seen the Wolves games. They're pretty strong. I just don't know if I'm that big of a fan of the Wolves defense. But as a punt, I don't have a problem with that. The points in defense this season have been terrible. So literally any defender is adequate as long as they have good fixtures. Wilkes is saying Maguire in for Tsimikas. I can feel a big-booted header coming against Everton. If you're fine with losing Tsimikas for the next 3 fixtures, because just remember, they have Man City this week, but afterwards they have Fulham, Sheffield United and Palace. And if Tsimikas is going to start all those games, then you might just want to have him. Is Salah necessary to have? I don't think he's essential, but I would say that he's definitely up there in terms of the players that are essential. I'd probably put him second. I just feel like in the next 3 fixtures, there's potential to do quite well. And the fact is, we can get away with cheaper defenses now because the big hitters aren't really performing, so we have a lot of funds to spend. So I would say he's necessary, but I wouldn't say he's essential. Omar is saying, I hope we win today. What's your thoughts? Omar, I'm not super nervous, but I'm not super confident. If I have to give a prediction, I might say like a 1-1. I hope we win, obviously, but I just don't know. These games are tough to call because now everyone's expecting goals, but we could have an absolute ball fest with the early kickoff. So if it's a 0-0, that's going to be quite disappointing. Are you still getting Eze? I only get Eze if Jared Bowen is confirmed to be out. And apparently the latest news is that he has a late fitness test, which could mean anything. It could mean he starts. It could mean that he fails the test. We don't know. The thing is, he has a 5 o'clock kickoff, so I'm hoping we get some early team sheet news, but I just don't know. It is confident, though, that he's having a late test. It basically means that he's not ruled out, so it means that he's close to a comeback. Winston is saying, given Mo Salah's form, do you think we can expect Liverpool win? I think we can expect. I don't think a Liverpool win is out of the question, and I don't think a Salah goal or attacking returns are out of the question. I just don't know if you can. I just don't know if I'm that sure in terms of the Captaincy. Let's just say that. Salah captain all day, says Jag. Is Aït-Nouri a good replacement for Cash? Do not have the funds for Saliba. He's a fine replacement, but I would also say Gabriel's a fine replacement if you can afford Gabriel rather. Otherwise, Aït-Nouri is okay. It's like the Fulham assets. If you want to go for Castagne, he's also a fine option. Dingra to Eze. I've already made the move from Matoma to Eze over in Mbumo. Okay, so row 1, I can't do that. I only have 0.5 in the bank, so I'm very poor. But obviously, yeah, if you can do a Dingra to Eze, that's a fine move, but I can't. I'm in a big dilemma for Captaincy. I will not captain the first game. I love Saka, plays one team. And yeah, I would probably go for Son over Saka this week. I just haven't seen enough out of Arsenal and Saka. But Watkins is also up there. Fernandez or Fernange. If you guys saw that video this week, shout out to people on Twitter that tagged me. It is Bruno Fernange. So I was saying it right. But yeah, let's just call him Bruno. I'd say I'd probably go for Son out of those options. If it's between Saka, Bruno, and Son, I'd go for Son. Is it worth selling Matoma and Bowen to bring in Son and a 6? I would do that, Dana Kelly, if you want to captain Son. Then I would go for Son, and I would probably go for Cole Palmer. Those moves look fine, especially because you're losing Matoma who's out this week. So I'd say if you want to captain Son, I'd probably do that. What about the Eze captain? I wouldn't be as confident. I'd say owning him is fine. Everybody hit the like button, says Marco. Only if you're enjoying the stream, guys. It does help us out with the algorithm. But just being here is enough of a thanks to me for the stream. So if you wanna hit the like, or I see there's sometimes hearts. If you want to hit the heart button, I see those as well. But yeah, as long as you guys are enjoying the stream, I'm fine. How much will you have left after the Saliba move? So let me just duplicate this for you here so we don't lose the place. So if we do cash out, I think Saliba 5.4. I've got 0.2 left in the bank. So if you guys can't afford this, just let me know and I'll give you some other alternatives. But at the moment, I've got 0.5 in the bank. And if I take him to Saliba, I'm left with 0.2. How's it, guys? Says Harry. Thank you for joining, Harry. Only 30 minutes late, brother. But you are usually quite busy, so I can understand it. But thank you for joining in and hopefully having a good Saturday. Do I need to get rid of Gordon? No, I don't think you have to get rid of Gordon. Already did Matoma to Eze. So Ropefly, you can just roll the other transfer if you have two. But you definitely have to get rid of Gordon. It's worth to sell Diaby for Eze as a differential. It's fine to keep Diaby this week. But I would say if you have to make a transfer, I'd favor that. But it's almost like burning transfer territory because both players could do well. Okay, so let us take a look. Okay, so nothing as of yet. It's just people posting their teams. So no early team sheet news 30 minutes into the stream. So we are getting a little bit worried now. I don't think much is going to happen. Eze or Mbumo. So this is my take on Eze versus Mbumo. So if you guys are considering the two options, so let's take my team for example. What I would have done is I would have taken Bowen to Eze because I can bring in Mbumo next week. I could do a Dingra to Mbumo. But let's just say that you guys have 4 midfielders and Matoma that you like. So then I would say go for rather Matoma to Mbumo because next week you're not going to get Mbumo in for those other 4. I would rather just get him in then. But if you can bring in, sorry, hitting my desk. If you can bring Mbumo in next week, I would go for Eze this week. I just don't like the fixture this week, so yeah. It's freezing in the UK, so will affect play. Okay, so I can tell you how hot it is here. So it is 33 currently, going to rise to 35. So we are quite a lot hotter in SA. Fix puts the Trippier as a Trippier captain this week. So slamming, that is a punt to go for. I don't know if I would go for a defender this week, but I would say you could. I think I would look elsewhere. Trippier has a tough game this week. Whom do you think better for the long term, Saliba or Gabriel? Saliba definitely, Winston. So Gabriel is basically second choice and Saliba's first choice. So we've seen that QER has had rotation with Gabriel, where Saliba's always the mainstay. So I would say favor Saliba over Gabriel. Got 2 free transfers, 0.5 in the bank. Matoma replacement suggestions. So how much is Matoma? If you can afford Mbumo, I would just go there. Unless, David, as I've said in my situation, if you're going to take out a Dingra next week anyways and you can afford Mbumo, I'd bring in Eze this week. Bowen Watkins out, Son Ferguson in. Jag, no, I would just keep what you have. If Bowen starts, I prefer the left-hand side anyways. Are there any transitions you will make because I have a meeting in 5 minutes? Okay, are there any transfers I'll make and I'll be able to watch? The transfer I will make, the safe one to assume, is going to be cash to Saliba. Unless we get early teams news about Bowen, but I don't expect us to. I miss the old days with our heavy metal football. Man City were terrified to play. So, Omar, don't you think we're playing pretty heavy metal football at the moment? I think we are. Start Alvarez or Archer, North Star Alvarez. Alvarez and Bowen to Palmer and Watkins. I would just keep Alvarez and Bowen this week, unless we get concrete news about Bowen missing. Foden to Eze. Aaron, I would just play Foden. Foden plays well against Liverpool usually. Thanks so much for helping, Davey. Loads of love from India, and congratulations to Prosia for incredible World Cup run. Thanks, Shivam. I do appreciate it, and apologize for the final. I wanted you guys to win. Sorry, Australians, but I wanted India to win. 0.1 short for Saliba and already have Gabriel. Any ideas for defense? Christian, let's go over some replacements for you. So one replacement you can look at is going to be Reece James. I don't know if I would go there, but he is a replacement option. I think he's 5.3, so you should be able to afford it. I like Pedro Porro as well. I would probably say he's a fine selection. Unfortunately, he has Man City next week. I think if you can, just look at your team selection. If you can bench Pedro Porro next week, I would go for him. Otherwise, it gets a little bit kind of desperate. There are a few options like a Gay or Anderson. I'd say that they're fine. I'd say Gay probably over Anderson now with the price difference, or Mitchell. But I would say I would probably go for Pedro Porro, Crystal Palace, and then I would go for Reece James. Out of those, you should have a replacement. But yeah, it's a bit tough. For me, Saliba is quite a bit above those, and that's why he's like a very set replacement, whereas the others, I don't exactly know. I'm in love with Szoboszlai this season. I think he's the man we need. Exactly. I think he's electric. No worries, Dana, Kelly, and Christian. Thanks for asking the questions. Kudos or Mbumo? I'll just go for Mbumo. I'd say I understand the appeal of the West Ham options, but I would just go for Mbumo this week. Look, guys, as I've said, if you have 4 set midfielders and a player you want to take out, I would go for Mbumo because you probably want him next week anyway, so just lock in that move now. The only reason, as I said, I would go for Eze is that if you're going to get Mbumo next week anyways for another player. For example, I was going to do a Dingra to Mbumo, but now I can't afford those moves. I'm a 0.1 off. So if we were to take out transfers, if we take out Bowen and a Dingra for some midfielder options, if I go Mbumo and I go Eze, okay, I have to just type it in. You guys can see I'm 0.1 short, which is unfortunate because Eze rose last night, so I can't do that move straight. Adingra is 5.0 as well, so he'll have to rise twice unless one of the other guys drops, but I don't think that's going to happen. So yeah, we are looking a little bit stumped in terms of transfer news. What's the latest news on Bowen? The latest news was that he had a late fitness test, and that was this morning's news. I haven't seen anything anyways. Yeah, I haven't seen any early team sheet news about Bowen. So I think it's safe to assume he might not get it. G-Bell, okay, let me just check quickly for you. Okay, your team, Gordon is... I would play Gordon over Archer, and then I would do the same move that I'm going to do. I would do Cash to Saliba. So just basically do the same thing I'm doing, unless we get Bowen team sheet news, but you don't have Bowen anyways. So do Saliba in for Cash, G-Bell. Should I do those moves if I can afford it? Andy, Hutch, no. Only do them if Bowen's out. That's the only reason I would do that. Bowen out and Mbumo in only if he's benched or not starting. David saying starting defense, Maguire, Lascelles, Gabriel, subs, Taylor, Cash. Should I change? I would bench Lascelles and I would play Cash. Yeah, and then I would just roll the transfer. Gordon or Archer. So I think you play Gordon, in my opinion. But it's close between them. It's like, it's one of those decisions where it shouldn't be a big one. Like, I think if your decision is Gordon or Archer, your team is probably looking pretty good. But it's one of those that, because nothing else is happening this week, all the emphasis is put on a little decision. I just hope there's not too much between those. If you get Cash for this week, how are you getting Mbumo next week? No, I'll do Bowen out for Mbumo. So I'm going to lose Bowen next week probably anyways for Mbumo. And that's why I was fine to transfer him out this week. And then I'll do a Dingra to Cole Palmer either next week or one of the weeks after. That's the moves I'm going to do. So basically what I've brought ahead is instead of going Eze this week, Mbumo next week, then 3 weeks time I bring in Palmer for Eze. I'm just saying I'm not going to go for Eze. I'm going to go for Palmer and Mbumo. That's basically what I've done. And then I'll do both of them probably next week, which I can afford because Bowen to Mbumo is quite a lot of money that I'll get. Saliba and Tsimikas or Gabriel and James long term? Saliba and Tsimikas, Daniel, I'd say. I just worry about Reece James. I don't think Reece James is safe enough currently. Gordon replacement. Need to make one transfer. Whom should I go for? Eze or Palmer? Can't afford Mbumo. I'll go for Eze then, and then I'll go for Palmer in 3 weeks' time. If you can't afford Mbumo and you've made decisions and you've kind of set on it, then I would just say that's fine. Matoma and Bowen to Eze and Mbumo, or use the money to get Son in with Luis or Palmer. Northy, do you want to captain Son? If you want to captain Son, then I would bring Son in. Otherwise, I like the Eze Mbumo move. But what I would say do is I would only make one transfer this week. I would say, can you afford Matoma to Eze? If you can, I would do that move and then leave Bowen and then do Bowen to Mbumo next week. That's what I would say. So if you want to captain Son, that's fine. I would prioritize Palmer over Douglas Luiz. But otherwise, your first option, I would just do the first transfer. Just do Matoma to Eze. Yeah, so it's not 100% like, yeah, he's a good player. I just feel like Mbumo's a better option in terms of FPL with better fixtures for the short term. It's that Luton and Sheffield United game that I'm prioritizing. But I could get Bowen back in come game week 18 when Mbumo blanks. But if they do get the double, I might just bench him. Would you start Pau Torres or Lascelles? I would probably go for Lascelles in that case. The only reason for that is I think a lot of us don't own a Chelsea attacker. If you own a Palmer, it's not the end of the world. But I think a lot of us do own an Aston Villa attacker, which is going to be Ollie Watkins. And it is a game I think they score in. Sell Bowen or a Dingra. You sell a Dingra over Bowen unless we get news that Bowen's out. Unfortunately, that's my answer to a lot of questions this week. It's the uncertainty. I can't say that you should keep Bowen or you should sell Bowen because if he starts, you obviously should have kept him. But if he doesn't, you should have sold him. So it's very tough to say. Oct saying, I've already used my one free transfer. Matoma to Mbumo. Should I use one more transfer that I still have? No, you can just roll it. If your team looks fine, then just do that. What do you think about Zinchenko? I just worry about rotation with Tomiyasu, Naveen. That's my only concern with him. Vincent, with your gifted membership. I'm on a trip and I don't have internet. Just managed to connect to the Wi-Fi. Who should I captain? Son or Haaland? Help. I don't know. I'm swaying on this decision. The only thing that I'm backing is the fact that I'm a Liverpool fan. So I'm just saying to myself, it actually makes it worse though, because the first situation is that we get absolutely pumped. Haaland gets a hattie, and then I'm like, okay, at least my FPL team is fine when my heart is broken. But otherwise, I could think to myself, oh, Liverpool are going to win this game. So if Haaland blanks, it's going to be like double the joy. I don't know. It's tough. So I would say go for Haaland if you want safety, but otherwise Son is fine. What I'm actually going to do is I just want to bring up, let me just bring up this screen. I want to check because Fix usually does a prediction on captaincy. Hey Dave, you been out of it this week? Is Cash expected to play Samuel? Yes, he is. He just left apparently because he didn't want to aggravate the shoulder injury. So he didn't go on international duty and that's why he's yellow flagged, but he should be fine. Been on Son captain all week, but scared of Haaland and the lack of Spurs options. Yeah, so the thing is, I think Son will still have some feed. It won't be as good as it was with Maddison, but I still expect him to get some chances. Would you do Cash to Gay? I would only do that if you have no other transfers to make and you have 2 free transfers. When you have 2 free transfers, you can do moves that come back to bite you because you're almost forced into something. Okay, wait, let me just check captain reveal. Okay, let me just check. If you're captaining Son, Perhaps you start Lascelles instead of Cash. Why? Oh, I get what you're saying, but like, I still feel like Aston Villa scored, so maybe Cash gets some attacking threat. But yeah, I know what you're saying. It's just I don't know if I trust that. Newcastle defense looked terrible last week. Okay, so let me bring this up on screen. It's quite interesting. Let me just see if you guys can see this. Okay, you can't, but you can see the majority. Okay, so basically what happens is we have top 10K, then we have top 100K, then the next one is top 1 million. But let's focus on the first two first of all. Okay, so what this is telling us is that Fix is projecting that in the top 10K, 37%. I think this is quite low. I think that more will captain Haaland. So therefore, Haaland, his effective ownership is over 100. Son will be below 100. So even if you own him and don't captain him, you'll still get the returns. Salah's over 100, but I don't exactly know if he's going to be captained by this many people. Then we have Watkins and Saka, who are both below 100%. So what this is telling me, I'm not too worried about the Salah effective ownership, is that Haaland is the safe one if you guys are focused on that. Whereas Son is almost the one that you can just get away with owning. So yeah, I don't know. Now I'm even more stumped. But yeah, I just wanted to showcase that in case any of you guys do use kind of effective ownership. Wally's saying it's a killer. Thanks, bad lad. Thank you. Appreciate it. It's for Movember. I've Gordon. Is he not going to play? Is Gordon not going to play? Is he injured or something? As far as I know, Gordon's like the only fit. Yeah, Gordon's fine to play. I think people are just looking to take him out because they don't have another transfer to make. Is Mikolenko a good option? He's a fine option. It's the same with, I put him in the bracket with the Ait Noris and the Castañes. Like, they punch almost in terms of defense. Bowen captain if he starts. I don't exactly know if I'd do that. Okay, so let's see if we get any. I'm just checking Twitter here. Okay, so I've seen no early team sheet news about Bowen. If you guys have seen anything, you can let me know. So Samuel, that's what you say. But let me show you this. So this was me last week. Okay, so I can't show you that, but I wanted to show you livefpl.net. But basically, because Haaland's effective ownership last week, where he wasn't captained by many people, I thought, I dropped 100k places because of that 16-pointer. So even though I own him but didn't captain him, I dropped that many places. So yeah, I was a bit worried about that. Yeah, I don't think we had early team news about Bowen. But I guess if he misses out, we have Archer on the bench, who I've said you should bench definitely, but maybe we'll rely on him. For the Mbumo and Saliba in moves, I lack 0.1. Do I just do one of these and hope for a price rise? For the Mbumo and Saliba moves. What moves are you talking about? The Bowen to Mbumo, or otherwise I'll just go Gabriel if you can't afford them. I don't think you can hope for a 0.1. The price rises aren't that nice. Have you contemplated Saka for captain? How do Brentford's defensive stats look? Their defense is not bad. It's not like the best or not the worst. It's quite middle. The thing that might give you hope is the fact that Saka is on the same side that Salah was on the right-hand side, and Salah had quite a lot of joy against them. I would say though that I think they're better options. If you want to go for Saka, I would just say go for Haaland, Son, or Salah. Then I'd say that they slightly better options. Unfortunately, with Arsenal, they haven't looked like the same attacking side as last season, and Saka's stats haven't looked that great. Surely you're always Captain Son as a Liverpool fan. Couldn't watch that game and hope that Haaland scores. But that's the thing about it. But there's also the way to think about it, where like if he does score, but then I guess you're happy that he scores, which is not great. So yeah, I think we'll just probably stick on Son. Have you start Chris Wood or Cole Palmer? I'd say Chris Wood for the banter. Let's do the transfer. Yes, I'll do the transfer with 10 minutes to go, which is 2 minutes time. -4 to bring Saliba in or just start Trippier? Harry, just start Trippier, brother. If you have Trippier, you play him. No worries, Adam. I don't have concerns about Erling Haaland starting. I'm a little bit concerned that we haven't got early news about it, though. Because we should have had some early news. But he was training though, so like he should definitely play. He's been in training the last 2 days, it looks like. I've been tinkering between Son and Haaland the past hour. My fingers are knackered, Vincent. You got that? They got that finger magic, Vincent. First sub, Lascelles or Taylor? I'd go Taylor. Todd Tsimikas or Taylor? I think there's a very low likelihood that Man City don't score, so I might go for Taylor, but this is coming from a man who sold Tsimikas last week before his 15-pointer, I think, so might not be the best person to ask about Tsimikas. Yeah, let me change my subs though. There we go. Actually, no, I've got Bowen. I hope Bowen plays, so I'm going to go for Lascelles. If you don't have Bowen, though, I would go for... I think Taylor's a better option, but I just feel like this week, because I have Bowen, I hope that he scores. What up, Davey? Says Pedro, what's the move today? The move today is going to be Saliba in for Matty Cash. But I think I can wait a bit of time for it. But yeah, no other team news as of yet. The only team sheet news is that Darwin Núñez is starting, as Tyler Scott is saying there. No, Tyler, I don't think I'd captain Darwin Núñez, but you can, as you said, for the vibes, but I don't know if I would go for that. Should I captain Bruno Fernandes? I don't trust United currently. Diaby for Bowen? No, I'd keep either side. If you have Diaby, don't get Bowen. If you have Bowen, just keep him. Virgil van Dijk going to stop Haaland as always. That's what I've said. Like Omar, like I had this discussion last season where Haaland was rumored to be out, and I said to a friend of mine that I'm more scared of someone like an Alvarez or a Foden or a Grealish than I am a Haaland. I feel like a Haaland we can potentially stop, but it's the players around him. And if Haaland's out, that just means that there's more of those players in the starting 11. So that's where I get worried. But I mean, Haaland's a great option. He's a great player. He's probably going to score. I just think that we might have enough to potentially stop him. Fingers crossed. I mean, touch wood, we have. But I'm afraid of like a Foden, a Grealish, and an Alvarez. Those players are just insane for me as well. For Bowen, you're not listening to other news. Yeah, so I mean, I don't think we'll get Bowen team sheet news. Any defenders other than Saliba? I think that Gay or Anderson are fine. A Pedro Porro is fine. I'd say a Crystal Palace defender is probably where I would go this week if you can't afford a Saliba. Otherwise, a Gabriel's also good. Sorry, late to the stream. What transfers are you going to make? Don't have Maguire. Don't have Gay. Just instead of Gay, then play Maguire. And then I would do the same move that I'm doing. I'm more scared of Alvarez. Christian. So it's the same in my opinion. I just feel like they're a lot more tricky to deal with. Good luck this week. Thoughts on starting Palmer or Gordon this week? I'd say you'd probably want to start both. But I think you might go for the home team and go for Gordon. Just that the Newcastle defense historically is pretty good. Best Palace defender, it's Anderson if you can afford him, but I think that Gay is a fine replacement. Otherwise, Mitchell also has a shot. Okay, we've got 8 minutes to go. Let me just check. Okay, so I'm going to do the move then. Let's do the transfer. And that's going to be Saliba in for Matty Cash. I'm going to confirm this move. And Saliba is going to be in our starting 11. And now let me just post this to Discord quickly while you guys are... Okay, Vincent, thank you. I appreciate that he was not spotted at Anfield. Let me just screenshot this team quick. Oh, the app's taking quite a while to load. I don't know if the app's down, maybe. Got in Mbumo for Matoma. Should I start Archer ahead of... No, start Mbumo against Arsenal. If you have Mbumo, you start him. Okay, and the Son captain is going to be locked in as well. Losing my head over Doku versus Trent. Hope Gomez plays so we can transition to a back three. So I don't know, maybe, but I'd say that you have to deal with what's in front of you. I think that we might have enough. But like, I don't think Man City's defense has been that secure either. Okay, cool. So that's up. So for the last 6 minutes, guys, we can have quick fire questions. Okay, so I've seen no early team sheet news, but guys, maybe just keep me posted on Twitter if you guys are on Twitter, if there becomes of anything. Otherwise, we can do some quick fire rounds. Rodri red card incoming, hopefully. No Chelsea defender, no David. Got in Mbumo, yes, I already answered that one. Late to the show, what's the thing about it, behind a Dingra over Archer? I don't exactly know. I think that I just like that Brighton attack more than the Sheffield United one. It's a 50-50 between them. I just think that Adingra has looked good. I think he's fine, whereas with Sheffield United, you never know. No, Rafa and Reza, don't listen to Vincent. Yeah, so damn, you got me. Yeah, Vincent's just talking about Anfield. Same team as you, alternative to Saliba because I'm missing 0.1. I'd go for Pedro Porro as a punt. Start Lascelles or Taylor. If you don't own Bowen, I would go for Taylor. Thanks for streaming. Thanks, Omar. Hopefully you have a good game. Not bringing Bumo in. No, I'll bring him in next week, Connor. Marino or Eze? Eze, because who's Marino? I don't exactly know. Why cash to Saliba, mate? Can you explain it quickly? Saliba has great fixtures coming up, and Arsenal do in general. So I agree with you. This week it's not that great against Brentford, but however, in the future, the moves look pretty decent. And because I'm almost forced to make a move, I'm almost making it for the medium or the long term. The defender options aren't that great anyways for the short term, so that's why I'm comfortable going with the best defense in the Prem. Haaland starts, says Vincent. Okay, so let's go check. Have we had some early team sheet news? Okay, so Haaland does start apparently. But I think that was an expectation that we kind of knew. Okay, so Haaland does start. If you guys are worried about the captaincy, start Bowen or Darwin. I would start Bowen, Harry. Start Cash or Taylor. I'd start Cash. Gordon or Taylor to start. Gordon. Zinchenko, I don't know if I'd go there, Evan. I'd go Gabriel as an alternative. But Zinchenko, for me, has rotation in him. Yeah, so if you guys can't afford Saliba, I wouldn't go Zinchenko. I would go elsewhere. Go for an Anderson or a Pedro Porro, that sort of thing. Nketiah or Archer to start. If you're confident Nketiah starts, I would play him, but I don't think he does. I'd go Archer. Cash to James. Already have Saliba, says Marco. He's a fine, but just as long as you understand the risk. Is Bowen okay? Bowen is fine. It's just he has a late fitness test. So if he doesn't pass that, he won't play, which I am worried about. But then I guess we have Archer to come off. I do feel like if he's fit, he starts. Otherwise, he won't. Matoma, keep or sell? No, you sell him for a -4 because he's not playing. Unless you can bench him for someone like an Archer, then it's fine. But yeah, Haaland about to be pocketed by Virgil. I hope nothing but that this week. Son captain confirmed. Yes, the Son captain is confirmed. SH. I can't do the Saliba move. Any suggestions? Gabriel. Otherwise, Gay, Anderson, Pedro Porro. All those options are strong. Start Palmer or Archer. I'd probably go Palmer. I captain Son, scary. So we'll be locking in for the differential. Start Udogie or Cash. This is an interesting one, Harry. I would start... Who do you think is more likely to score, Aston Villa or Spurs? I'd say go for Cash. Slightly. But between those are 50-50. Who's your captain? I'm at the gym, a bad network. Gary, the captain is Heung-min Son, and the vice captain is Haaland. Get that locked in if you want to go with me, but I'm going for Son. Saliba move confirmed. Yes, this is the locked in team here. Salah will score 2 goals today, and we will cry. I won't cry because I'll be happy as a Liverpool fan. Start Palmer or Gordon. Best scenario, both, but I might say Gordon just edges it because of the better attack. Surely Palmer doesn't get another penalty, but maybe. Whom to captain, Saka or Bruno Fernandes? I would say go for Saka. 1 minute left. Shamil, that is indeed true. Simicas or Livramento, who to start? I would go for Livramento, Taha. Thank you, Davey. No worries, Vernon. Bowen, vice captain, Andrew, maybe. I'm not super confident that he starts, so that's why I'm going Haaland. Eze for the win, Bradley. I am very jealous if you guys do own Eze, to be honest. Keeping Bowen this week, yes, I am. I just can't take him out before the Burnley game. As long as there's a chance of playing. Cash or Gordon? Gordon. Digne or Lascelles? Digne. Aston Villa game. Aston Villa going to win seems more decent. Yeah, so that is fair. Aston Villa could. It's just super tough between Spurs and Aston Villa to choose. We got back from the future. Liverpool win. Salah Hattie. Haaland hat-trick, time's up. So both of you, is it going to be 3-3 for Liverpool Man City? I don't exactly know. But as Vincent is saying, time is up, as well as Andy. Good luck to you guys. Hopefully you guys got your teams locked in. We are going differential this week. It's going to be Heung-min Son. Hopefully it pays off, but otherwise I will be crying in about 3 hours' time after the Liverpool game does conclude. But, thanks for joining the stream. I think it was a bit of a nice one. We had some concerns about some early team sheet news that didn't come about, but, it is what it is. I think the team looks fairly decent for this week, and hopefully we're going to be sitting on a nice green arrow. Thank you for joining the deadline stream. As I said, hopefully you guys have a great rest of your weekend, and hopefully the green arrows are in our favor for Gameweek 13, the lucky game week after all. But I'm going to sign off. It's been Davey FPL, and I'm out. Cheers. Bye.